A very warm welcome to The Wedding Tales, a show where we educate our youth on matters dating, marriage, and family life. Now, this is the first episode and it's the hottest because we have the hottest couple in town here who will educate you on the matters we've just discussed. I'll be your host. My name is Gisharu. Karibuni sana, Mr. and Mrs. Matere. And as much as I've mentioned their name, they're going to tell us who they are and what exactly they do. Karibuni sana.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here and to be part of this. My name is Peter Matere, and people know me as Peter Tesh. That's what I use on social media. I believe I'm still young to be on the social media. Currently, I'm a youth pastor, pastoring at P.C.E.A. Nairobi West. On the sides, I do my own other businesses, and that's who I am. I'm married to this beautiful lady. Yes, and maybe she can say her name.
Okay, my name is Caroline Wambui Matere. I work at Wama Nursing Home Hospital. I'm a receptionist.
It's nice to know you, Karibuni, once again. And now, since we've gotten to know what they do now, we'd like to also know who these people were before they met. Who was Peter Matere and who Caroline was, how their childhood was, and all that. So I don't know where to start, the lady or the gent?
We usually have this saying that ladies first, and today we don't want to say men before.
Okay.
So we want to allow, yes, to say so that I can build on it.
Okay. So Caroline, tell us about how you grew up, where you stayed.
I grew up at Nyeri County, a place called Karatina, a village called Kiamafara. I'm in a family of 3. I'm a second born, 2 ladies, 1 guy. I was raised by a single mother. I went to school at Kiamafara Primary School, went to Mazaivi Secondary School.
Still in Nyeri?
Yeah. Until I finished my school, then I came back to Nairobi. Yeah.
Okay. Nice to know. And how about you, Matere?
I have just heard the Nyeri. I wasn't brought up in Nyeri. I grew up in Nakuru County. Nakuru County has been my home for a number of years, basically in a place called Bahati, and the village was called Wendo. I love the 2 names because one talks about Bahati in Kiswahili and Wendo in Kikuyu means love. Yes. So to me, they meant a lot to me. I went to school. I started my schooling in a village school called Morongaro Primary. But one of those people who started boarding schools at an early age. I engaged in a boarding school at a class 3, Naivasha Boys. At our time, yes, that was one of the best schools. And we are proud of being part of that school. Then I finished up my primary school. I joined Jomo Kenyatta High in Nakuru. Then at Form 2, I joined one of, the name makes me even today feel good, yeah? My secondary school where I did my exam was called Miti Mingi Secondary School. Many trees. It was environmental. Yeah? So we were having that concept of you have to take care of the environment. And I did my Form 4, then joined college and did computers. And of course, then started hustling. I came to Nairobi and started my hustles. So that's me. That's how I grew up.
Okay, that's interesting to know. So for you, you grew up with both parents?
Oh, very important to say. Because maybe because of this show, it may play a part somewhere. I was brought up I come from a single parent family as I started growing up. So I was brought up by my mother, but surrounded by a lot of my uncles. currently I'm proud to be in a home where I have we are three, 2 men and a lady, and so at that my growing up, and it took me my first around 17 or 15 years, no, almost 19. I was the only child. Yes, no, I don't mean I was the mama's boy, yeah? No, but in that circle of a family, I was the only child. So my brother and my sister came way when I was almost getting out of the teenage age. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty nice. So you almost come from a similar background. And how did the two of you end up meeting?
Ooh. Well, so how did you ever meet me?
When I came to Nairobi, I joined P.C.E.A Makadara as a youth. Nikajipata niko treasurer. And kwenye alikuwa, na yeye pia alikuwa chairman. I used to fear him, by the way. Ni wale watu ukimwona do huyu unaenda hii direction na yeye anaenda hivi. Yaani hamtaki
sema no nonsense.
Hamtaki kupatana. So we used to go to meetings. This is a church. And one day tukaenda Komodai. I think it was Komodai girls or Komodai boys, one of them. Na that's when I realized he is spotting on me. Na siku I didn't put that in mind until when we departed. Tukaenda home, wao wakaenda.
Was it like a camp or?
Yeah, it was a camp. Actually, it was a conference camp. The same. Yeah, I don't know whether it is the same thing. But after kwenda, I think that time yetu hakukuwa na WhatsApp. We didn't have WhatsApp. So tulikuwa tunaongea na Facebook Messenger. Akanichokoza hapo. I ignored. I didn't want to talk to him because unaona mtu mwenye unaogopa. Yaani hutaki hata salamu ama nini. But after 2 months nikajibu text yake. And he requested for a call na my phone number. I ignored also. I don't know what happened, nikampatia. So after kumpatia, hapo ndo tulianza kuongea. Yeah.
So that like when you were at the camp, you didn't do much talking?
No. Remember, I feared him. So hakuna mahali nilitaka to close ati tusimame tuongee. No. It was very tough anyway.
He still is.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
He has his side of the story.
Basically, I would want to say that, well, from that story, you'll realize how a boy child ananganganaga hii maisha, but it's part of life. I think one of the things I did when I came to Nairobi, and from my earlier age, it's good to say that we both have been brought up by Christian families and parents who were so serious about God and who gave us much more direction is that you need to be an active participant in the house of God. You don't need to be a speculator. You go into church and just coming out and doing nothing. So one of the things that was in me when I came to Nairobi is that, by the way, my own congregation, home ground congregation in Nairobi is P.C.E.A Ongata Rongai. So when I came in, I got myself into the ministry. My first ministry was in Sunday school, where I got to serve the young children, and it gave me a lot of joy. And having a system in our church that after some time you have to let other people become leaders, I found myself transiting from the Sunday school ministry to the youth ministry. And it was quite fun, you know, mixing with young people, enjoying life, going for camps, hikes, you know, those interactions, Bible studies. And I happened to have God given me an opportunity to serve from the congregational level up to the national level as a chair of the youth ministry. And I think that's when I started thinking, so what after the youth? Uko hapa hivi katikati ya watu wote, alafu naanza kujiuliza nitachomoka tu hivi tu, alafu niulizagwe ni aje, haukupata mtu. And so because one, I would want to agree because of the positions one has, sometimes you tend to be so tough. Because as she mentioned, the camp or the conference where she's talking about was a regional conference. A regional conference meaning we were youths from all over Nairobi region and coast region. So that was a big, huge responsibility. And with youths, you have to be a little bit serious. Unaweza kajikuta katika shida. So I think that was my nature, the leadership concept. And, she didn't mention, she was in the praise and worship. So watu wenye wako kwa praise and worship, it's good. Sauti ukitoa, unatoa tu vizuri. So she was part of that praise and worship team. And, you would admire a few things. We all have a concept of what you look for in life. And that made a very big difference. So when I started that concept of, can I have your number? After our conference, it took me time. It's good to say. You talked about how many months? 3. Yes, we usually had our conference in December. We used to have the conferences in December. And the next year, there was definitely the church gathering of ministers, which was a GA, a General Assembly. And being in Nairobi, we were privileged that we'll have our praise and worship team participating. And me being the chair of them, so the team which was participating, she was among that team. So those are the months that it took for me to realize and be able to capture that can I have her number. So that's the journey. That's how we started. We were able to pick it up from somewhere. And much more, it's good to mention that we were in the house of God serving when that happened.
Let us take you back quite a bit. How was your dating journey? How long did you date? How was it?
It's like we dated for less than a year. Actually, it was 6 months.
Much of why we have young relationship breaking up even before they start is because one of the mistakes people do is that they take too long thinking that they are knowing each other.